students, I'm back with your next class. In today's class, we are going to start cell organelles. Alright. So cell organelles are certain specialized compartments which are found in the eukaryotic cell cytoplasm. They have varied structure and also they will have distinct specific functions. Alright. This compartmentalization inside the eukaryotic cell would help the complex reactions going inside the cell to go on without any kind of hindrance or without disturbing each other. All right, and because of this particular separation of distinct functions inside the cell with the help of cell organelles allows eukaryotic cell to be working or functioning in a much advanced level. Alright, so let's start with cell organelles today. So we are going to start today with endomembrane system. Endomembrane system is basically a unit of cell organelles. Okay, mainly there are 4 cell organelles which would together, these are all membranous cell organelles and they will all work in coordination with one another. Alright, so basically because they would work in or function in coordination to one another, 4 of the cell organelles mainly, they together can be taken as a unit and we will call that unit to be endomembrane system. And in endomembrane system, these 4 cell organelles which are present are ER, that is endoplasmic reticulum, then Golgi complex, third would be lysosome and fourth would be vacuoles. Alright, so we will discuss all of these 4 cell organelles together which makes up the endomembrane system in details in today's class. Alright, so let us start. See, endomembrane system, these are membrane bound organelles each with distinct structure and function, but they function in coordination to one another and constitutes a unit called endomembrane system. The organelles include endoplasmic reticulum, which we also can call ER, Golgi complex, lysosomes and vacuoles. In today's class, mostly we'll be elaborating ER and Golgi complex, and in the next class we'll discuss lysosomes and vacuoles. Alright, so let's start with ER or endoplasmic reticulum. First of all, ER was discovered by Porter and Thomson. Okay, do remember the name. It was discovered by Porter and Thomson. Next, electron microscopic studies of eukaryotic cells reveal the presence of a network of reticulum, that means a network of membranous structures of tiny tubular structures scattered in the cytoplasm, and that is what is called ER. Now ER, it is responsible for increasing the surface area inside the cell 30 to 40 times more than the external surface because of this integrate membranous structure that it forms inside the cytoplasm. Alright, now because the ER, it is a continuous, sometimes it can be forming continuous membrane like structure starting from the plasma membrane and continuous till the nuclear membrane. That much continuity it may possess in certain cells. Alright, increasing the surface area of the cell, internal surface area of the cell to great extent. Alright. Now regarding ER, what it actually does, because of this like continuity of the ER, it divides the entire cell cytoplasm into 2 parts. A part of the cytoplasm that is within the ER, that's called luminal compartment, and outside the ER, whatever part of the cytoplasm would be left, that would be known as extraluminal compartment. Alright. Now mainly, if we talk about the structure of ER, you should remember that ER consists of mainly 3 structures within it. This continuous interconnected, parallelly running membranes which forms a stack-like structure, that would be known as cisternae. Then from the ends or edges of the cisternae sometimes arises certain complex, infestations or certain complex branching. Okay, branch-like structures, or you can say swollen structures, and they would be known as tubules. And finally, certain minute circular sac-like structures would be present in the ER. They would be known as vesicles. So the structure of ER consists of mainly cisternae, the interconnected membranous stacks, followed by the swollen edges or branched infestations arising from the cisternae called the tubules, and certain rounded sac-like structures called vesicles. Alright, cisternae, tubules and vesicles. Now, mainly what you need to remember from ER is that endoplasmic reticulum can be of two types also. Now, ER being of two types, how can we differentiate them? So, mainly based on the membrane of the ER can be of two types. One is SER, that means smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and the next is RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so if ER's membrane is smooth, that would be of course SER, and if it is rough, it will become RER. Now see, both of these types of ER consist of, they have completely distinct or different kind of functions. Alright. For SER would be not associated, or it would be having a smooth surface. Why? Because nothing granular will be attached on its surface, okay, and it would be mostly responsible for synthesis of lipids. Right. And on the other hand, for RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum, do remember why its surface become rough? That is because of the attachment of various ribosomal subunits onto it. Now, ribosomes mainly consist of two subunits, large and smaller subunit. Alright, so it is the larger subunit of ribosome that will remain attached to the RER, okay, surface of the RER. So because of that, the RER would be, or the rough endoplasmic reticulum would become rough or granular on its surface. Hence the name. Understood? There are certain glycoproteins called ribofourin 1 and ribofourin 2. They would be mainly allowing the attachment of the larger subunit of ribosome with the surface of RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so main function of RER would be protein synthesis. As you should know by now that ribosomes, they are site for protein synthesis, and ribosomes being associated or being attached on the surface of RER, of course the function of RER would be protein synthesis. Alright, so SER, lipid synthesis, and for RER it would be protein synthesis. Alright, this is the main facts or information regarding ER that you must remember. Alright, so let's see what it is all about again. Let's revise it again. See, it is composed of three kinds of structure, the ER, that is cisternae, tubules and vesicles. As you can see, roughly I have made a diagram here where you can see some parallelly stacked interconnected membranes, and these are the cisternae. The branched infiltration arising from the edges of the cisternae would be known as tubules, and these rounded sac-like structures, they make up the vesicles. Alright. Now, the internal space enclosed by ER is called luminal, and the space present outside the ER in the cytoplasm would be known as extraluminal compartment. Alright. Understood this properly? Now, types of ER, as I told you already, it would be SER and RER. SER is, it is free of ribosomes and are smooth tubular structures. Because it does not have ribosomes, that's why it is smooth in nature. Alright, and its major functions would be, first, synthesis of lipid and sterols or steroids, detoxification of drugs, and muscle contraction by uptake and release of calcium ions. Alright. Likewise for RER, it has ribosomes on the surface giving rough appearance, and they remain continuous with outer membrane of nucleus. Sometimes the RER would remain continuous with the nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane again consisting of two membranes, outer and inner membrane. So with the outer membrane, the RER may be continuous sometimes. Alright. Do remember another important thing, that the attachment of the ribosome with the RER surface would be brought about by certain glycoproteins, that is ribofourin 1 and ribofourin 2. Alright. Now, main function of RER would be they act as the site for protein synthesis. After all, ribosome, which is the organelle associated with protein synthesis itself, is bound with the RER. Hence, RER is a major site for protein synthesis. Alright? Understood this? Fine? So do remember, this ER or any kind of cell organelle would not be present in the prokaryotes except for ribosome. 70S ribosome is going to be found in the prokaryotes, and that's the only cell organelle found in them. Other than that, no other cell organelles would be found in the prokaryotes. Likewise, certain eukaryotic cells like the mature mammalian RBC, likewise sieve tube, sieve tube cells, mature sieve tube cells, they would also not possess any cell organelles as such. Alright, understood this much? Fine. So now let us move on to the next cell organelle, that is Golgi complex. Now, discovery of Golgi complex was made by Camillo Golgi in 1898. Hence, the name is Golgi complex, after its discoverer. In plants, Golgi complex is also known as dictyosome, where it remains simple and it would remain unconnected. Unconnected stack of membranes would be found in the plants, and that would be known as dictyosome. Now, structure of Golgi complex is kind of similar with the ER itself. It will also be consisting of cisternae, tubules and vesicle itself, but with slight difference. Alright. So, see, in Golgi complex, the Golgi complex consists of two distinct phases, that is trans phase or maturing phase and cis phase or forming phase. Alright. Now, this parallel stack of membranes that you can see mainly found in the structure, they are the cisternae. Then swollen edges arising from certain cisternae, these are the tubules, and this structure, these rounded structures, these satellite structures, these are the vesicles. Alright. Some of the vesicles will be very large and will be involved in the formation of lysosomes, and they would be regarded as Golgian vacuoles. Alright. Now, see here, cisternae are flattened satellite structures stacked on one another, and there are usually 4 to 8 cisternae packed in a stack. They resemble the ACR. Now, because in Golgi complex, ribosomes won't be associated on their surface, making their surface smooth, they would resemble the ACR. Alright. Now, they are mostly found near the nucleus in concentric pattern. Do remember, just like ER would be spanning through the continuous cytoplasm. That means, suppose this is a cell. Alright. See, this is a cell, the plasma membrane, and suppose this is the nucleus. Alright. In certain cells, the ER will continuously run from the plasma membrane connecting the nuclear membrane. So that the part of the cytoplasm where the ER remains would be known as luminal compartment, and outside the entire cytoplasm would be known as extraluminal. Alright. Now, in case of Golgi complex, if you want to compare, Golgi complex will be always found nearby to the nucleus. Alright, nearby to the nucleus. It won't be spanning the entire cytoplasm. It would remain nearby to the nucleus. Alright, and they both will always coordinate with one another and function together. That's why, after all, they both are included under endomembrane system, isn't it? So now see what would happen. The cisternae consist of, they are mostly found near the nucleus in concentric patterns, and the size range from 0.5 micrometer to 1 micrometer in diameter. That means from one cell to another, the size will keep varying and the range will be 0.5 to 1 micrometer. Alright. Now, the cisternae consist of distinct convex, cis phase and concave trans phase. Do remember, cis phase is also called forming phase and trans phase is also called maturing phase. Alright. They are different but interconnected. Fine. Now, function. Before I read it out, all of you just simply try to understand how Golgi complex functions in coordination with ER. Suppose from the RER, okay, that is nearby to the nucleus, where there are many ribosomes attached on the surface making it granular. From the RER, various proteins which are being synthesized by the ribosomes, they would be transferred to the Golgi complex. This is the Golgi complex, isn't it? Now proteins, you see, as soon as the ribosome makes some proteins, the proteins are not immediately ready, okay, to function. They have to be processed and only then they are ready to reach their destination. Now that processing is not done by ER. ER only synthesizes the proteins. The processing is to be done by the Golgi complex. Okay, that's how they are coordinated to one another. So what how it is done, you see? The unprocessed proteins from the ER would be sent or transferred to the Golgi complex in the form of some vesicles. From the vesicles arising from the ER, the vesicles will contain these unprocessed proteins, okay, and these vesicles, they will now start entering the Golgi complex, through which phase? It will start entering the Golgi complex via the cis phase or forming phase, okay. So how it is happening, you see, the ER is making proteins, synthesizing them, it is packing them in the vesicles and sending it to the Golgi complex, okay. And from the cis phase or forming phase of the Golgi complex, all these vesicles are entering, okay. And by the time these vesicles will be coming out or will be released from the trans phase or from the maturing phase, now the proteins will be fully ready and processed to reach their destination. That's how both are going to work together, okay. It will send unprocessed substances and Golgi complex ER will be sending unprocessed substances, and that will get processed or packaged by the Golgi complex. Alright, understood finally? So see here, the main function is to package materials and prepare for secretion. The packed material is delivered either to intracellular targets, that means targets inside the cell, or extracellular targets, means targets which are outside the cell. In that case, the substances that have been produced or formed by the ER and processed by the Golgi complex, they will be released outside the cells, okay, like secretions. The materials from ER moves to the Golgi in the form of vesicles, which enters the cis phase and are released from the trans phase when they're fully ready now, okay. Also, it is important site, that means Golgi complex is an important site for the formation of glycoproteins and glycolipids. Alright, understood this properly? Fine. So what you mainly need to remember is that ER and Golgi complex, they are similar structures. They consist of cisternae, tubules and vesicles, but they also work in coordination with one another. How? The ER will be producing or synthesizing lipids in the SER or proteins in the RER, but they are not ready or processed yet. For processing these materials, which are now in the raw state, they now are entering the Golgi complex in the form of some vesicles through the cis phase of Golgi complex. Once they enter the cis phase, by the time they're released from the trans phase, all of these substances that have been brought from the ER are now fully processed and packaged and ready to reach their target. That's the basic relationship between ER and Golgi complex. If you can understand this, then all the problems are solved. You would not have any confusion. Alright? I hope all of you are clear about this part. In the next class, we'll start with lysosomes and vacuoles so that endomembrane system would be completed. Thank you.